Hello, everybody, and welcome to Super Podcast Action Committee, episode 164. Andrew Eisen here, along with Zachary Knight. Hello, Zachary.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing, Andrew?
Oh, Europe has zero mission? NOA! What? Did we do something to piss you off, NOA? Man,
I don't know.
did we say something mean to Reggie?
I guess. Yeah. I don't know what it is about
Haven't
Nintendo
we always
America.
loved Reggie?
They just hate us.
Europe used to get the short end of the stick throughout the 80s, throughout the 90s, throughout whatever the last decade was called. But that's no reason why we have to suffer. It's not a zero-sum game. We don't take turns. We can just make it right for everybody. Anyway, for those of you who weren't with us before the show, we were talking about Metroid Zero Mission not being available on Virtual Console, but apparently it's available on Virtual Console in both Japan and Europe. So, also some in the chat are suggesting that I have clout. That Nintendo is going to listen to anything I say.
So, out of curiosity, what region does Australia share its shared content with?
Well,
I go with Europe.
Typically, yeah, it's a different territory, but if for instance, I think all the Rainfall games, Xenoblade Last Story and Pandora's Tower, I think those were all Australia titles too. And then we yammered and complained and finally got them here in America, which was awesome. So Nintendo 13U Cube says is Nintendo punishing the Americas because of World War II? But Japan started it. Oh, let's open this can of worms. No. These are, it's interesting. These are
tens, but
I really don't know. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's NOA." I think a lot of it is NOA does advocate on our behalf sometimes, and Nintendo Japan's just like, nah, because it is one company. It's the same SKU, same stock. So as much as NOA may want to bring certain things to us, sometimes its hands may in fact be tied. Don't know that at all, but I will offer the following prediction while I'm thinking of it. Soon, very soon, we will have a Nintendo Direct. On that Nintendo Direct will be introduced the first in Nintendo and Dina's mobile games. And it will be available now! During the Nintendo Direct, whoever's hosting it will be, this cool mobile game is coming. It's our first in collaboration with Dina, and it's available right now. That's my prediction.
Okay.
Of course, I also predict that the NX will launch in end of 2016 with Rise of the Tomb Raider as a launch title.
That'd be nice, but
I also predict
Square like Nintendo.
Sure. But actually, Square is probably one of the earliest companies to be working on NX, because they're one of the companies that we first heard a confirmed and then backpedaled NX announcement with the Dragon Quest XI. They were saying, yeah, we're working on Dragon Quest XI for, I think, Sony's machine and the portable and NX, and they're like, oh no, not NX. We would, if there were an NX, we would be open to the possibility of maybe looking into it if they did that kind of thing. So yeah. I think Square Enix is probably on board with whatever the hell NX is. And hopefully everyone else is too. But of course, that doesn't even if they came out and said, Square and NX sitting in a tree, that doesn't mean anything, because Electronic Arts did the exact same thing with the Wii U, and we all knew the unprecedented partnership between Electronic Arts and Nintendo, and we all know how that turned out. So.
Yeah. Matthew asks, why would Nintendo reveal a mobile game on a Direct? It's the wrong target market. Well, in response to that, it's like, why would Bethesda announce a mobile game at E3. Yeah, they did. And it was the top grossing mobile app for like weeks after E3.
Hmm.
So there you go.
Also,
There is a lot of overlap between mobile and console
yeah, that's also
users.
generally where Nintendo is making its big announcements is its own controlled events like the Nintendo Direct. And
Hmm.
even if mobile users, mobile Nintendo fans, of which there really are almost none at this point. I mean, Pokemon Go is going to come out next year, I think, and that's probably going to be huge. Pokemon Shuffle is actually on mobile devices right now. So there is a little bit of an audience, but you're right. The Nintendo Direct audience are probably not the rabid Nintendo mobile fan base because there isn't one yet. But
Hmm.
the audience that's watching the Nintendo Direct is the rabid Nintendo fan base, and at the very least, that's a good place to start advertising.
Yeah. And
Because
chances
I'm
are pretty much every single one of them has either an iPhone or an Android phone. So
yeah,
there you go.
I mean, I have like zero interest in mobile games, but I'm interested in. I'm a big enough fan of Nintendo to at least check out whatever the hell they do. I'll even create an Apple ID or whatever it is that I need to do on my iPhone, which is my work iPhone, which I use for work. So, um, let's. I've been ignoring the chat here. Let's see. Okay, we're
Yeah.
good. Oh, and Fallout 4 comes out in 2 weeks. Yay! It's not on Wii U.
Yeah. But
I,
yeah, real next gen Vixen asks, couldn't they just release a virtual console on mobile? And they could, but I don't see Nintendo wanting to because they
no.
like to control that with their, they want that market on their consoles.
Well, it's the control thing, but it's also a lot of virtual console games just would not be fun to play on mobile without
No,
radically
they
changing
wouldn't.
how they control. I mean, man, I'm trying to think of how you would actually place it. Mobile is great if the game is actually kind of targeted for mobile, and some actually work. But what Nintendo's made clear is what they want to do, and this may have changed, but um, they're going to make stuff specifically for mobile that plays to its strengths. Probably,
Yeah.
almost certainly, still using its treasure trove of popular IPs, but the mobile games are will stand alone, but also will say, "Hey, you think this is awesome? Well, we've got fully featured AAA games over on our console, so come on over there."
Yeah.
But could they release a virtual console on mobile? Yes, and
Yes, they could.
it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to release, if they would work, just some legacy games on mobile. Like just
Hmm.
put a version of Super Mario Brothers on it, 99 cents. Everyone's gonna, well, not everyone, but there's a lot of people that be like, oh, Super Mario Brothers on my phone, sweet.
Isn't that like $2.99 on Virtual Console or something like
Yeah.
that?
It's probably 5.90. It's probably $5. I think it's four
I
ninety
don't
nine.
remember.
I think
Yeah.
NES games are typically $5.
Okay.
Yeah, I think NES is like 5, Super NES is 8, and N64 is 10 typically.
Which is hilarious because a lot of there's a lot of Nintendo games that they're $5 on Virtual Console, but you could buy them for like 99 cents, like the cartridge at
Yeah.
a used game store.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, so I have some
Like
very sad,
Mario.
yeah, some very sad news. My Wii has died. It is no
Oh,
more. It is an X Wii. Um,
well, it lasted a while, but
yeah, but man, so when I put a game in here, it makes a sound. It sounds like. I'm like, oh God, give it back! Don't hurt my games.
ah,
And I
so it's
pulled the.
just does it turn on?
Oh, it turns on. Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I can get into the menus and everything. It just won't read discs now. And
Okay.
after making the kathunk sounds for a while, it pulls up a black screen that says unable to read disk, eject, turn it off and try again. If not, consult the operations manual. And really all the operations manual says is, are you sure the disk you're putting in there is actually a Wii or GameCube game? Yes, yes, it is. Well, then you're screwed. So I probably have a bad disk drive,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is
I've got a Wii
about
that's like,
$70 to replace.
you might as well just buy a new Wii.
Since they're $99, I think, or at least they were. I don't know if they're still
Yeah.
selling them, but
Do you have any games downloaded onto it? Like a
no,
virtual console or anything you
no. But
bought?
I could still transfer all of the saves and stuff off of this onto my Wii U, if there's room. Of course, most of it's on the
SD card?
memory cards. Yeah, but I could transfer all the stuff off of this. The problem is this is also my GameCube. I gave my GameCube to my sister when I bought this, so while I can play all my Wii games I can transfer all the saves and play all my Wii games on the Wii U. I can't play any GameCube games until I get a GameCube or new Wii or fix this. But so yeah, that really sucks. So I actually, if you watched my stream, Protoman says get one second hand for like $20. Yeah, but hopefully I don't inherit the secondhand units problem. But Nintendo consoles are pretty sturdy. I'm actually surprised it died. Well, I mean, it didn't die. It still works. It's just something seems to be wrong with the disk drive. I thought maybe giving it a good shake, but there's nothing loose in here. I blew out the ports with the compressed air, but it still does the same thing. I let it cool down overnight because it was running hot. I put my hand on it. I'm like, oh, God, it's hot. My Wii U and PS3 run cool as a cucumber, but this one was worn, so it probably fried. Yeah, that's an expense I didn't need. So if you watched the stream earlier today where I played Baten Kaitos, which is a GameCube game, I borrowed a Wii from Cheryl at work, who is nice enough to loan me hers. And her Wii, which is one of the red ones, had this game in it. I Spy Spooky Mansion. I thought maybe I should play this on the stream because I don't know what the hell it is. I think it's one of those find the hidden object in the picture.
Yeah, it's a hidden object game. Yeah.
I'm going to have to make fun of her on Monday. What the hell is this?
Yeah, those I Spy things, those are all hidden object games. I don't know. They're popular for some reason, especially on mobile. I'm surprised how popular they are on mobile. But yeah, they're more popular than you think.
And I bought a game to play on the stream, the full Extra Life charity marathon 24-hour stream on November 7th. I bought a game specifically for that stream. It's a Wii game, so I can play it on the Wii U, no problem. But I'm excited to try that one out and show it off. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not going to announce what it is yet, but
okay.
Look forward to it. And by the way, speaking of Extra Life, thank you for everyone who's donated. I've raised $105 for Rady Children's Hospital here in San Diego so far. So thank you very much. It's actually most of the fundraising happens in the couple of days leading up to the main event, which this year's on November 7th. So getting a $105 head start this early is pretty cool. So thank you, everyone. Any video games or anything you've been playing this week that you want to talk about before we
well, I started playing Penumbra Overture. I guess that's how you say Penumbra. Yeah, I was going to play Amnesia, but I remember playing it before and having some problems with it, like, just trying to figure out how to do things in it. So I was like, you know what, I've got Penumbra too, so let's give that a try, because I'm trying to play horror themed games for the month of October, just to make it interesting. And so far Penumbra's pretty good. I haven't gotten too far into it. I just
Oh,
started
cool.
playing it today, actually.
Yeah, I have that on PC, and I've actually had
Yeah.
some people ask me to play it. Next Saturday is Halloween, I believe. So
Yeah.
I'll be streaming again at 2 p.m. PST on Pacific Standard Time next Saturday, and I will be playing an appropriate horror game. So look
Yeah.
forward to that. Anyway, go
So,
ahead.
but yeah, I started playing that, and I got the. There's 3 games in the series: Overture, and something else, Black Plague and Requiem. So, uh,
Oh, yeah. The
yeah.
other ones.
So, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'm not too far in. I have died a couple of times just because I thought I could kill this evil dog thing, but apparently these dogs are invincible and you can't kill them. So yeah, so you just have to kind of hide from them and sneak away, and you can knock them out and use that to kind of run away and hide. But yeah, it's just kind of a pain in the butt. So yeah, because I got to this area and it's like, oh no, that dog's going to be coming soon. So let's try to block the door. And so I start putting stuff in front of the door, and apparently I don't put enough stuff in front of it, and the dog breaks through. So yeah,
Quick dog story. I've probably told this before, but there's a game from Activision called Gun. I believe that's also a GameCube game. Yeah, it is.
yeah, I think
It
so.
was on other consoles, but it's basically one of the best Western video games before Red Dead Redemption came out. So, and it's really a great game. If you I recommend it. I thought it was a lot of fun. But so I was wandering around in the town, and there was a dog running down the street. So I took out my bow and arrow with the dynamite arrows. Pew! Kaboom! And the dog doesn't actually blow up. It just. I'm like, oh god! The doggy squeak that Activision recorded for this game. I'm like, oh god, I'm so sorry. I'm a horrible person. It makes you feel so bad for dynamite arrowing a dog.
Yeah.
But,
Well, this dog that killed me, I'm not. You know, I would love to kill it. It's a hairless cave dwelling dog that's it looks really creepy and scary and gross and stuff. But yeah, you don't get a lot of weapons. Well, you don't really have any weapons. It's like so far I've got a hammer and a pickaxe, and that's about it in the weapons department. No, I did pick up some dynamite, but I think I need that for something else. I can't use that to kill a dog. But yeah, there's also giant spiders, which I haven't had any issues with. And according to what I've read online, there's also giant worms that might try to kill me. So, and apparently there's no chance of defeating a giant worm. But the spiders I can kill, which is weird. But I can't kill the dog. I don't know why. But yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing this game up. It's because it's really neat. You know, it takes place in some kind of underground mine / bunker from World War II, and in Greenland. So yeah, so it's pretty interesting going through and reading some of the journals and log books and stuff. So definitely definitely a great one, a great game. I'm enjoying it. I think I like it more than when I played Amnesia before, but I still want to play Amnesia again. I just decided to play this one. But yeah, that's about it for gaming this week, unfortunately.
Okay. So let us move on to this week's poll. Ah, yes, this week's poll. I am going to say some unflattering things about Nintendo during this segment. Oh, oh yes. So, Nintendo, I think, has a dartboard, a really large dartboard or a wall where they just tack up video games and then they throw a dart with their eyes covered, and whatever game the dart lands on, they do something really dumb with. Like they say, let's censor that somehow. Let's change a costume or remove a costume or put a censor bar or change some of the artwork. And it's like, what? Why? Um, for example, recently, Nintendo, and this is usually NOA, but this does happen in Europe too. For one of the, I think the DLC episodes for Fire Emblem Awakening, I guess it's a beach episode because there's a piece of art with, I think it's Tharja, in her bathing suit. It's a two-piece bathing suit going, posing. And they thought in this teen game that it's a full back bottom too. It's not a thong. Which is interesting because I think her in-game outfit is a thong. She's wearing kind of translucent pants over it, but still. So she's wearing full backed bikini bottoms, and they thought, no, that's too much for this teen rated game. Let's kind of put a blowing curtain just kind of blew in from off frame and obscured her bathing suit bottom, which is stupid and pointless and unnecessary, but it also makes her look like she's not wearing any bottoms. So it actually makes the picture more scandalous because the curtain that kind of blows into frame is obscuring the fact that she's actually wearing bikini bottoms. Yeah, good one, Nintendo.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Some of the characters in RPG Bravely Default, they changed some of their outfits a little bit to make them less scanty clad, which is these are chibi characters, the really super deformed characters. So really, and they upped the characters' ages. In Japan, they say this one's 16 and this one's 15, and in the other territories, they say, they're 18, but we're still going to change their outfit. I think the game's rated T too. T also. Correct me in the chat if I'm incorrect.
Yeah, Bravely Default, I think is
yeah. So
but yeah, and which is funny because this is the company that had the uncensored version of BMX XXX, whereas Sony censored the game.
So also had the Guy game, which featured full motion video of topless nudity. So 13 UCube says those mountains in Mario look suspiciously like boobs. Change them to lollipops in North America. Yeah. So Fatal Frame, the latest game of the Fatal Frame. I think it's been like a decade since North America last got a game in the Fatal Frame series. Europe actually got Fatal Frame 2, possibly 4, but I know they got 2. But this is Fatal Frame 5. And it actually did come out in North America. Granted, there's no retail release. It's download only, which causes its own set of problems because the download is huge and the Wii U hard drive is not. So the game costs $50. I have no room on my Wii U for it. I only have about 3.5 gigs of space left on my Wii U. The demo is 10 gigs. I think the full game is 15. So I either have to buy a hard drive, delete stuff, and remember I own it to re-download it later, and I'm going to have to do the parent captain cleaning of the fridge. So in Fatal Frame, which is rated M, by the way, it's a ghost story about murderous ghosts. And so it's a supernatural horror game that features murder and suicide. It's rated M. In Japan, the two female lead characters, you can, I don't know how you unlock this, beat the game or find all the collectible doohickeys, whatever. There are bonus costumes that are underwear. So if you unlock the bonus costumes, you can dress your characters in ill-fitting undies and prance them through the game. Yay. But not in America. No, Nintendo removed those outfits and replace them with really, really cool, don't get me wrong, really, really cool alternate outfits. So instead of underwear, you can dress the characters up as Zero Suit Samus or Zelda. And the Zelda dress is really, really cool. So my problem, and we'll get to the poll in a second, but I must vent. My problem is I think that the bonus costumes should have supplemented the risque bonus costumes. Should have had both, not replace them. Here's the other problem that I didn't know when I wrote the poll. In the game, at some point, there is a cutscene where one of the characters is in her underwear. I think it's a flashback or a dream sequence or something. So that costume from the flashback/dream sequence is the bonus costume that you can put your character in through the entire game. Nintendo didn't just remove the bonus costume, it removed the costume completely and altered the cutscene so she's no longer in her underwear. Again, M-rated game. Like Bayonetta/Bayonetta 2, published by Nintendo, M-rated game. Also, Xenoblade Chronicles X, published by Nintendo, comes out, I think, December 4th. Rated teen, has really skimpy armor outfits in it. I mean, really skimpy, really boobtastic outfits. And one of the characters in that game is, I think she's like 12 or something in Japan, and they aged her up to 15, 16 in the other versions, and they aged her up mainly because she does not look 12 at all. I mean, she looks young, but she doesn't look 12. It didn't even strike me as a sexual thing. It's like, oh, come on, she's not 12. So I think I can't find any. Someone said that the characters in Fatal Frame are, one of them is 16. According to an unofficial wiki, they're 17 and 19. But I looked at the official North American, European, and Japanese pages, and the character ages are not listed. I don't think that matters anyway, but for what it's worth, there you go. Yeah. So, all right. Oh, Proto Man Dan says Lily, whatever her name is in Xenoblade Chronicles, is 13 in Japan and 15 here. Yeah. But it's a teen-rated game, and Nintendo's apparently happy with her running around in her underwear in that game, but not the characters running around in their underwear in an M-rated game. What? Which you have to have a credit card to buy, because you can only download it. You know, anyway, okay, so how should Nintendo have handled the risque bonus costumes in the North American and European release of the new Fatal Frame? 181 people responded. 67% said the Zelda and Metroid outfits should have supplemented, not replaced, the risque outfits. So 121 people were absolutely correct. 24% said 24% said remove the risque outfits and offer them as a free download for those that really want them. And 11% said replacing them with Zelda and Metroid outfits was the best course of action. So most people, so about 90%, 89% of our audience who voted and participated in the poll think that the outfits should at the very least have been available for those that want to play with them. Now, if anyone's actually curious about my take, I think the underwear outfits are kind of tacky and gross. Personally, I actually do like dressing my characters in their underwear because I'm incredibly immature. If you watch my playthrough of Read Only Memories, I named my character Asshole and giggled every time someone called me that. When I played through Knights of the Old Republic, I played through it in my underwear because it's funny as hell to me. These underwear sets in the game I don't particularly care for because it doesn't look like they fit. You've seen Alien, right? The 78, I think, Ridley Scott movie. Sigourney Weaver's ill-fitting undies in the final moments of that film. You know how they like go horizontal across her butt crack and don't actually come up all the way. It drives me nuts. You want to reach into the screen and grab the waistband and go, I don't know if any person would ever wear underwear like that. It just doesn't look like it. That's why I don't like the outfits, because they're just dumb.
Well, they're
And
stripper outfits, basically.
yes. Although I have been to a gentleman's club once, and the underwear they were wearing, while they were wearing them, fit. So maybe I just went to the wrong club. I need to go to the ill-fitting undies club. So yeah, personally, I think this was absolutely the wrong move by Nintendo. I don't understand how this bee got into their bonnet. There's no point to doing this because I don't believe that there is any gamer on the face of planet Earth who is like, Fatal Frame, yeah, gonna play me some Fatal Frame. Oh, wait a minute, there's an optional bonus costume that I don't have to dress my character in? Oh, I'm not buying the game now.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, there are people, not very many, but there are a few gamers who are like, oh, you're censoring? Not getting my money then. Nope. Boycott! There are a couple, there's probably like 5 maybe in total, but there are a few. So the only thing Nintendo's really accomplishing is, one, they're losing a few sales, probably very few, but a few. They're probably losing more just because it's digital download only. But and I understand probably why they're doing that. I imagine Nintendo doesn't think it will sell enough retail to justify the cost of actually printing out copies.
Yeah.
And the game got a special edition in Europe. Damn it, NOA. So, and also it's just bad publicity. It pisses people off. It makes Nintendo look like a censorious asswipe. And I find it personally insulting. When anyone says, now if Nintendo decided I don't want to publish this game and left it to, whose game is it? Is it Tecmo's or?
Yeah, somebody mentioned it was Tecmo.
Tecmo. But Nintendo's, what it reads to me is Nintendo saying, it's totally fine except for you, Andrew. You couldn't have. This isn't appropriate for you. I'm like, up yours? I will decide what's appropriate for me. You sell me your stuff and I will decide whether I want it or not. So anyway, bad Nintendo in this one particular instance. Bad Nintendo.
Yes.
So anyway. Sorry, monopolize that one. Go ahead, Zachary. Let us know your thoughts.
No, I think you've pretty much said it all. It's just a really dumb move, and it makes no sense whatsoever. And I'm with you there. I don't understand what the deal is with Nintendo of America. So you think they made a stupid decision when they decided that the U.S. doesn't deserve the normal size new 3DS and all the interchangeable faceplates, but this kind of tops that.
Laxter3 is pointing out Devil's Third, also rated M, also published by Nintendo. Apparently not as good a game as Fatal Frame, although I've seen some middling reviews of Fatal Frame too. But it released at retail, and it has a woman in a thong and topless. Of course, that character is probably older than 19 or 17 or however old these fictional cartoon characters are supposed to be. But
yeah,
man, Lily or Lele or Laylee or whatever her name is 15 and she's running around in her she has optional underwear outfits in Xenoblade Chronicles X, and that one's rated teen. Nintendo, I still love you, but
yeah. Now they're going to delay Xenoblade Chronicles X just because you mentioned that, and they're like, "Oh crap! Now we got to redo all these animations and models."
Damn my
and stuff
clout!
And change.
So the question is, Andrew, are you going to buy Fatal Frame, or are you going to be one of those who says, "I'm not buying it because I can't, in good conscience, support a game that pulls this crap"? Man, that's a good question. Luckily, I don't have to figure out the answer because I can't buy it right now because I have no room to store it until I either clear out my Wii U's hard drive, which if I have to move all my Wii stuff onto it, there's going to be no room anyway, or get another external storage medium. But it's a great question because what do? You could not buy the game thinking, I don't want my money to support this. I don't want Nintendo. I want Nintendo to understand that this is not okay. Vote with your dollar. Great. The problem with that is Nintendo is not going to take away, I guess we should not censor things. We should leave the content in there and trust inform them of what content is in there, but trust our audience to make informed purchasing decisions. No, what they're going to say is, oh, you don't want horror games, or you don't want M-rated games, or you don't want Fatal Frame. Okay, we won't localize Fatal Frame in the future. And that's definitely not the message you want to
No.
give Nintendo. So stop putting me in this position, Nintendo.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they at least get the message that we want a Wii U that has more than 32 gigs of storage on it.
Yeah. I mean, if there was any sense that the savings was passed on to us by chinsing out on the hard drive size, but I mean, the Wii U launched at $350. All the other one, I mean, granted, it does have the tablet controller, but all the other ones, the PS4 came out at $400, and it has a 500 gig hard drive, I believe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, golly, even if it was up 128 or some odd size, 100. Yeah. I'm thinking in powers of 2, but it probably would be 100. I've never heard of a 128 gig hard drive. That's
let's see. They usually it's things like I remember back when they were actually.
I'm assuming 500 is probably like 512, but
yeah, something like that. But yeah, But I think Nintendo's thing is they wanted to put solid state storage on it, and anything more than 32 gigs is probably cost prohibitive. Maybe 64 gigs would have been fine, but if they wanted to go more than 100, they probably would have had to go with magnetic drives, and those are just expensive. Those are cheap, but they're slow, and they have the potential to break a lot easier than solid state media.
Okay. NX, we're going back to cartridges.
Hey, I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with I love physical media. We have a comment comment on Fatal Frame being episodic. No, what happened was there's a demo of Fatal Frame, which is, I believe, the prologue and the first 2 chapters. So you can download for free the prologue and first 2 chapters, which I think in and of itself is 9 or 10 gigs, and play that, and then put down your $50 and download the rest of the game, which is a further 5 gigs or so. So it's not episodic, but they do let you download the first few chapters to try it and see if it's something you like, which I think is a pretty cool idea. The problem is, this really wouldn't be a problem if storage weren't at a premium for the Wii U. This whole thing, download only, not a problem on the other systems, but on the Wii U, there's really, unless you have nothing on your hard drive, you're probably going to need some form of external storage media to buy Fatal Frame. So Fatal Frame, really, unless you already have one, Fatal Frame is costing you $50 plus probably about another $50 for some type of external hard drive, and it has to be a externally powered hard drive, I believe, or the dual USB one. So Nintendo, sometimes they just. It's so weird because the decision is so arbitrary sometimes. Nintendo just suddenly, again, like I said earlier, it's like they're throwing darts. We can't be that perfect. We gotta. It's time for our monthly. I don't know. Anyway, so thank you everyone for voting in the poll. Let us move on to a new topic. The new topic being our thoughts on YouTube Red. YouTube Red is a subscription service for YouTube, which costs you about $10 a month, unless you're on iOS. Unless you're on iOS and purchase it through iOS, then it costs you, I think, $12 a month. But this allows you to watch YouTube videos ad-free without using an ad blocker. So I don't know how popular this is going to be. It also gives you access to exclusive content, some of which is from PewDiePie, which appeals to a lot of people. I'm not one of them. I really don't like his work, but I don't have a problem with him.
I've
But
never actually
man,
watched one of his
I've
videos.
tried,
Yeah.
and I can't get through them. I feel like such a jerk too. I mean, the video is
Yeah.
like 8 minutes long or something, and I play it, and after about 3 minutes, I have nope. I just can't sit through it. The
Yeah.
reaction video I did almost a year ago, one of the segments in that was going to be Andrew reacts to PewDiePie, and so I downloaded one of his latest videos, or was viewing one of his latest videos, was trying to watch it, trying to find a good segment that I could react to, and I just couldn't watch the whole damn thing, even for work. Like, this is just not for me.
Yeah.
So, anyway, YouTube Red. Another interesting factoid is, how is this going to affect, well, content creators like myself who do monetize the work I do? There are ads on, for example, my 13 Days of Horror series that I'm doing right now. So apparently what's going to happen is I have to opt into this YouTube Red service. Otherwise, my videos go private. What this means is I don't make money on ads. So if you're a YouTube Red subscriber, you don't see ads. So, but I do get paid based on how much subscribers watch my video, and that money comes out of the subscription pool.
Yeah.
So we don't really have any fine details on it yet, but I don't really have a problem with it. I think the name YouTube Red is really poorly chosen because RedTube is a porn site. It's true. I looked it up. Someone mentioned that on Facebook. I went, really?
Yeah.
And I looked it up and went, oh, good golly, yes, it is. That's not a good name.
No, it isn't.
Also, and it sounds. I mean, red. You know, paint the town red. It really does kind of sound adult. So
Yeah.
maybe not the best name, but
yeah, I don't know why they picked that name. It doesn't really make sense. You know, it's not like you can pick a name that makes it sound like, oh, you're getting a good deal by paying money. You know, it's like Netflix and Hulu. Those, you know, on their own, those names mean absolutely nothing.
yeah.
You know,
And RedTube is free. I don't know.
So, but yeah, but you know, YouTube Red just, you know, on its own, it just seems kind of weird because it doesn't really specify or describe how it's different than normal YouTube, other than making you think that it's YouTube after dark. Yeah, but yeah, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see, you know, once this you know starts going through. It would be interesting to see if we get any YouTube channels that will speak about, you know, how their revenue has changed, you know, once this launches, because I don't know if Google's planning on breaking things down for YouTubers, you know, whether it's
Probably
like, okay,
not.
here's your money from ads, and here's your money from YouTube Red, and here's how many views you got through normal YouTube, and this is how many views you got through YouTube Red, because that would be data that I want to see.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I would doubt we get that, though.
Yeah.
This could actually, at least in some cases, work to creator benefits, though. It really depends on exactly how this is done. For example, by far my most viewed video is the mom reacts to her son masturbating video. So yes, go ahead and search that on YouTube. It's been watched over 300,000 times. By far my most watched video. And looking at my analytics, can you guess? I do monetize that video. I do run ads on it. Do you know how much money that video has made?
How much?
33 cents.
Nice.
33 cents. I think what the problem is no one is buying ad space on that video. And I can't say I blame them. What is Frisky's going to run a cat food ad on that video? Come on. But under the YouTube Red program, the views, I may actually end up earning more money by being paid for the amount of views from subscribers, from
Yeah.
red subscribers, even though there are. So it could work out to my advantage. I should put that up. I should put that video up on RedTube. Yeah, the uncensored version. Unfortunately, I didn't crop it. It was actually shot up here. So um, don't worry.
Yeah.
It's. I wouldn't recommend watching it at work or in front of family, and I would definitely use headphones. But it's just the whole thing is pantomimed. It's more suggestion. It's really gross, but go ahead and watch it. Most people think it's pretty funny. So,
Yeah.
uh, and although it's interesting because I did a version of that video where sister reacts to her brother masturbating, and that one only has, I think, like 50,000 views. Nowhere near as popular as mom watching her son masturbate, but um, and another thing that's interesting is I looked at the analytics on that video, and well over 90% of the views are coming from YouTube searches. So discovery of that video is coming from, I don't get to see what the search terms are, but over 90% of the discovery of that video is from YouTube searches. So I don't know exactly what people are searching for on YouTube where they're landing on that video, but
Yeah.
what were we talking about? YouTube Red, yeah.
Yes. But it. I don't know how. Going back to YouTube Red, I don't know how popular it will be, because you've already got a large segment of YouTube viewers who have ad block. I'm one of them, and ad block skips all the ads. It skips the preload ad. It skips the banner ads. Well, I think I still get some kind of pop outs on some videos, but I never pay attention to them, and I just X them, close them out. But yeah, but I don't have to see any of the overlays, or the background changes. All that stuff's gone, and it's very nice. So really, the only incentive for somebody to subscribe to this would be to access the
exclusive
content.
Yeah.
And they would have to have some really good exclusive content, because for Netflix, and I get tons of crap on Netflix, and that keeps me busy all day long.
Yeah.
So and on top of that, I'm also subscribed to Hulu Plus, which I'm considering upping my subscription to the ad-free Hulu Plus, which is just $2 more. So that's not too bad.
Hopefully it works.
Yeah, hopefully. We have some terrible issues with Hulu. It's like we'll be watching. It's like 5 minutes in the show, it'll have to buffer the show up again, and then I'll watch the show for 2 minutes, and then it'll buffer again, and then ads will play with no problem whatsoever, and then the show will come back on for like 1 minute and then start buffering again. It's like, so I don't know if we're hitting a bad time of the day for Hulu or on our network or whatever, but yeah. But YouTube is going to have to exclusive content to compete.
Yeah, I'm not interested in it unless it actually had some really compelling exclusive content. And PewDiePie, all due respect to the man, I'm not interested in his work. So
yeah, well, there was a movie studio. I'm trying to remember which movie studio it was, but they released like 100 some odd videos for free on YouTube.
Oh yeah. It was a movie company, wasn't it?
Yeah, because He-Man or Masters of the Universe was one of their movies. Yeah,
I forget who it was.
Yeah, I forget.
Real Next Gen Vixen says, if me paying for YouTube Red directly contributed to YouTubers I'm subscribed to and watch on a regular basis, I'd be more than happy to pay $10 a month. But if it makes no difference, then I'd rather just continue watching ads. It's a good point. So I really need to go off topic here since we hit Hulu. Zachary, have you been watching the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show?
Yes, I have.
Are you caught up?
I think I'm an episode behind now. Like, I haven't watched this past week's episode yet.
But you did see episode 3, right?
Depends which one was that.
It's the third one. It's the one where Lincoln is on the lightning bolt shooting dude is on the run, and Daisy tries to bring him in, but then Coulson and the other woman are talking, and they say, "Okay, you can." Where Lincoln accidentally gives the one guy a heart attack, and
Okay, yeah. I watched
and
that one. Yeah.
what's his face goes into a fist fight with brass knuckles to get into Hydra.
Yeah, I saw
Okay.
it. Okay,
Question.
it's episode and seen yet.
Yeah. Okay. So, is it just me, or did Daisy kissing Lincoln just come completely out of nowhere? Seriously, that happened, and I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Where did this come from?" No, you can't do that.
It was unexpected, but but looking back, there was some of that. From season 2, there was a little bit of a spark, pun there, it was. I think it was a little out of the blue, and they didn't really lead up to that very well
was
at
not
all.
set up properly, because I was like, Wait, what? No. Anyway, sorry, I had to.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'm an episode behind because I don't pay for Hulu, so I'm watching the Agents of Shield a week behind when they come free.
Okay.
So before we move on, I want to read a comment from YouTube, which let's see, Steph Laref says no physical copy of Fatal Frame equals no buy. And Ui Jeongabu Deer, Mr. or Miss Deer says, that's me, censorship I don't support, I'm not getting the game. So yeah, you've got one lost sale from censorship and one lost sale from it's not a physical copy. I would love to buy it, but I actually can't because I have no room for it. I do hope to get it at some point, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, so moving on to our next topic. Okay, Kojima, is he gone from Konami or not? Because Konami is in denial. And what I mean by that is Konami denies every damn thing that comes out. There were all these accusations of really poor working environments, and Konami's like, nuh-uh. I can't blame them for that, but and then there's all these reports. Well, they're leaving AAA with the exception of their soccer game, Pro Evolution Soccer. They're leaving the AAA business, and Konami goes, nuh-uh. And most recently, there's a report that Hideo Kojima's last day at Konami was October 9th, and they threw him a goodbye party, and hugs and tears and beers were had, and he's gone now. And Konami again said, no, he's just on vacation. Because games take a long time to make, and they're exhausting, and he's just on vacation, man. And then people are asking, well, what about the goodbye party, of which there are pictures? And Konami said, we don't know what that was about. It's like, what? This is the weirdest damn thing.
You do realize that the first stage of grief is denial. Yeah. So next is anger. So it'll be interesting to see how they project their anger into the world.
Press release is probably going to be either, oh yeah, well he was a real jerk, or they're going to or they'll make
they'll file a lawsuit against
they'll make
him.
Metal Gear Solid into a pinball machine, or a pachinko or a slot machine. That'll teach them. Kind of like Capcom and Keiji Inafune. And say, oh yeah, Mr. Inafune, well how about no Mega Man games? How do you like them apples?
Yeah, so. But yeah, so Konami's going through the stages of grief here. So right now they're in denial. Next is anger, which they're probably going to sue a bunch of media outlets and possibly Kojima himself. So that's probably that's my guess of how they would express their anger, and then they'll get into bargaining, and then bargaining. They'll try to settle out of these lawsuits because they know that they really, threw the crap into the fan with these lawsuits, and so they're like they'll start trying to settle and get out of them, and then they'll hit depression, which they'll probably just not release any games for like a year or two. They'll just kind of hide in their little hole, and then finally acceptance. They'll come back out and they'll release a Castlevania pachinko machine
with erotic violence.
Yes.
I have to imagine that's probably just one of those weird English is cool, but when English speakers listen to it, you go, wait, what? Because in Japanese, in Japan, from what I understand, English is just kind of cool, and speaking English is cool. So you'll hear a lot of English phrases in conversations and in marketing, and to American or anyone who speaks English ears, sometimes it's like, what? What the hell does that even mean?
Yeah. I don't know, but this week I actually had to look up because I've heard pachinko machines a lot, and I've had a vague idea of what they were, but I actually had to look them up this week because I was just like, you know what, I need to know what a pachinko machine is, and it's very weird. I don't know. It's like it's.
See if you can describe it.
Yeah, let's see if I can describe it. Okay, so it's like it's a vertical pinball machine style thing, but instead of actually playing pinball, it just shoots little ball bearings up into this thing, and they kind of bounce around, in this machine, and then they land in little targets. And depending on what target they land in, you can collect these balls, and then you can go and trade these balls in for cash or whatever it is prizes you get. And I'm just like, this is really weird. And it's like, they talked about, the article I read talked about, counterfeiting these the ball bearings, and how different businesses are actually had to engrave their business names into them so people wouldn't had a harder time counterfeiting them. They have to like watch their doors so that people don't run out, leave with a big bucket full of these things, and it's just
I just
weird.
cashed in a bunch of fishing lures or fishing weights rather as a
yeah, there we go. But yeah, it's just a weird thing. I don't know. I guess it makes sense culturally. It just doesn't seem like anything that I would actually find as fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never.
The Price is Right had a pachinko machine. I don't know if it. I guess it's something based on pachinko machine, but it's like they drop the little disc down and it bounces off the pegs and whatever they land on. Unless I'm thinking of something else that.
Super Mario Sunshine had a level that was modeled somewhat on a pachinko machine, and it was the most aggravating level in the entire game because you have to shoot yourself up into the top of the pachinko machine. There's a giant pachinko machine, and I think there are the 8 red coins. And you have to fall just right and bounce and collect all the 8 coins. Oh, that one is a nightmare. The camera does not cooperate. That is the single most. I love Mario Sunshine, but that is the most hellish level in that game. It just does not work right. It needed a bit more polish. It's terrible to control. The camera's terrible. It's a funny idea, I suppose, but
yeah.
Oh. So who knows what the hell's going on?
I think I prefer. Yeah, but yeah, they just they're weird. I don't know. I just wish they would release some good Castlevania games. Because I miss the 2D Castlevania.
Yeah, here's the biggest thing is if you fall to the bottom of the pachinko machine in Super Mario Sunshine where the exit is, you have to start over again. So you have to collect, because when you fall, you catch one red coin, you go into the coin return and back into the shooter slot so you can go back up to the top. But if you miss, you fall all the way to the bottom and you're out and you have to start over. Oh, it sucks. Oh, it's so terrible. I think probably, other than that, my biggest experience with an actual pachinko machine is probably in one of the Yakuza games, which Yakuza 4 I played, and I was in the Club Sega or wherever it is, and they had a pachinko machine, and I tried to play it and I couldn't figure out the controls. And it shouldn't be that hard. I didn't spend a whole hell of a lot of time on it because I only had 2 days to play the game, and the game's huge, so I was running through as much as
Yeah.
I could. And but oh man, I
Like how hard is it to control it? Because it's like, with
don't
pinball,
know.
you've got
And there's
you
on-screen
you've
prompts,
got
and I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do.
yeah, but like pinball, you have, let's see, there's three main controls. You've got the ball launcher,
Hmm.
and then you've got left paddle and right paddle. Or
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, and that's it. And then maybe
And
if you want to
some
get
video game
realistic, you can do a tilt.
yeah, some
Yeah,
video
but
game versions have some form of kick the machine.
yeah, and but yeah, that's like that's all you need. It's like,
Hmm.
so what do you actually need for a pachinko machine?
If I'm remembering correctly, there was like a thing you rotate to try and get the ball dispenser to point in different directions, and I just couldn't figure out what the exact controls were, or maybe it was I was confused on what exactly the goal was. Am I doing well? I'm not sure, but Yakuza is still an awesome franchise, and Sega should bring all of them to North America. Oh, okay. Here's another prediction: Nintendo is going to walk up to Hideo Kojima, say, "Hey, Kojima-san, come here. You, me, Guillermo del Toro, you guys get together. You make whatever the hell you want. We will publish it." Yeah. Yeah, you guys seem really excited about Silent Hills. I think you guys could just work together, do whatever the hell you want. It'll be great, and it'll be exclusive to the NX, and we will rule the world. That's my
Well, that would be awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, because they've done that before. Yeah, it's like,
They
oh,
have jumped in and saved project, although it couldn't exactly be Silent Hills. But Nintendo has
yeah.
jumped in and saved projects before, such as Bayonetta 2 and Devil's Third.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, from what I hear, Devil's Third is not that good. Vixen says, and then they will censor it. Yeah,
Only in North America, though.
but only in North America and possibly Europe. Okay, next
Yeah.
topic. Last topic. Steam. Would ads on Steam be dumb? I think it was
Yes.
GameSpot. Yeah, GameSpot had an interview with Steam. I was asking them about ever going to have ads on the service. And let's see, Eric Johnson of Valve said, "We don't see a case for that ever getting user value. So we wouldn't do it. I don't think that those ever work either. To take it a step further, I don't think anybody buys Doritos as a result of that. Doritos being a hypothetical ad that could be on Steam." And I think he's got kind of a point because if I'm looking up, let's see, Amnesia, The Dark Descent, Soma, Super Meat Boy. Oh, look at that, an ad for Doritos. I could, I could, I gotta stop what I'm doing and go to the store and buy me some Doritos now. Johnson goes on. He says, "We tend to focus on long-term relationships. It would be a bad business decision, let alone just dumb." And Robin Walker of Valve added, "Ads don't serve any value to customers." So,
No.
from personal experience, I would have to agree because other than I can name Doritos as a potato chip, I've never gone to the store and
They're
bought
not
Doritos
potato
just,
chips.
oh,
They're corn tortilla chips.
oh. See, advertising doesn't work at all. But they are orange, right? Some of them,
the
the cheddar
Yeah, some
ones,
of them, the
maybe.
cheese ones, yes.
Sorry, I'm
They're made with yellow corn. They're yellow corn tortilla chips with flavoring
yeah.
on them. But yes.
Now, ads for other games that are released, they go on to say that we're more interesting in developing tools that help customers find games that they would be interested in purchasing,
Yeah.
which is great because there's so much crap released on that service every week that you need tools to wade through it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good point. I don't know I don't know how many actual studies have been done on this, if any, but um, what about I don't know if Origin has. I haven't seen any on good old games, but then again, I use an ad blocker, so I have to wonder if you did advertise third-party products on, if there would be any benefit to the consumer. I mean, we do have ads on Game Politics, for example, and I don't know how beneficial to our readers that is, but we're not doing the ads for you. We're doing the ads to try and make some money so that we can actually bring you the content you like to read.
Yeah,
But Game Politics is not actually selling a product. uh, Valve is. They're selling the video games. So I think they make a good point. It's actually really refreshing to hear that. Say, nah, ads are dumb. You know, that serves no benefit to our customers, so we're not going to do that.
yeah, yeah. And I've seen a lot of um, comparisons between Valve's take and Microsoft, where on the Xbox 360, Microsoft just like dumped ads all over their the Xbox 360 interface, and
Mhm.
everybody hates it. They're
It's
like, I
dude,
don't
I
want ads.
already
I
bought
want to
your
play my
yeah,
game.
I bought
Yeah,
your console, and I bought the games on the console.
yeah. I'm paying $60 a year for
Yeah,
Xbox Live Gold. It's
I
like,
think
why am I getting ads?
I think
Yeah,
ads are appropriate in places where you're not actively spending money. Like typically, like Game Politics or YouTube or any place that you go to uh, consume ostensibly free content. I think
yeah,
ads are appropriate in those places, but in a place where I have to pay to be, or a place where I go to spend money, yeah. I mean, if you're
yeah,
advertising something that is on your service, like, hey, since you're here, you'd be interested in this stuff, that kind of targeted advertising, that's fine. But it would
yeah.
be super weird if I went to Vaughn's to go grocery shopping and saw a ad for a TV at Best Buy or something, you know?
Yeah, well, that's like the PlayStation 3. It doesn't have any ads or anything, but if you hover over the PSN store icon, it'll display a bunch of top deals or whatever. So like 6 games there, and you could just quickly go over to those, and it'll take you directly to that game's page in order to buy it. But other than that, there's no ads on PlayStation or the PlayStation 3, and
No,
and
that's
this is one of the things that bugs the crap out of me with Hulu. It's like I'm paying $9 or $10 a month for Hulu Plus, and I still have to watch stupid ads, and they want me to pay another $2 or $3 more in order to not get ads.
yeah,
That's really annoying. Whereas I'm paying $10 a month to Netflix, and I don't have to worry about any ads. Well, I guess technically they did start some kind of advertising, but it's like very minimal and stuff. But it's mostly just like check out our newest Netflix exclusive show. That And I think that's only like on launch or something, but they don't do that very often, which is
yeah.
nice.
Matthew in the chat just linked an article from Ars Technica. Says it's titled "Online Advertisers Admit They Messed Up, Promised Lighter Ads," and he says, "I don't believe him for a minute." I'm not inclined to believe him either, but
No.
we've worked with good, decent ad services before, but the problem is a lot of times you can't pick individual ads.
Mm-hmm.
I think you pick packages or themes, and you just kind of get what you get. You can go to your provider and say, this particular ad is causing a problem, get it out of there. But I think
Yeah.
that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is we don't pick the individual, depending on what service you're using, and we are looking into different options even right now, time permitting. um, is that would be kind of great if you could really select, although I don't know if any of us have the time to do, is really selectively pick which ads, because I know we'd be going for stuff that we think you guys are interested in. I've seen a couple ads on our site now. I'm like, okay, it's fine. It's not distracting. It's not intrusive. It's not hijacking the browser. It's not popping up over anything. It's not making noise. It's fine. But are any of our readers really give a damn about whatever that is?
Yeah.
So it's a necessary evil, and
Yeah. And that's something else. We use Google AdSense, or AdSense,
AdSense, yeah.
and
And we're
yeah,
looking
they
for
they let you they give you 50, 50 slots basically to block certain categories of ads, but they have like 200 categories of ads, and or some more than that. It's like 50 is not enough to narrow down your ad the ad selection to something that might be interesting,
Hmm.
to everybody. It's like, yeah, we can get rid of all the porn ads, we can get rid of
Yeah.
all the ads for financing and self-help and stuff like that, but we can't get rid of stuff like on desktop models or whatever, things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, just some really stupid stuff,
I
and
mean, I've
it would
got
be
a
nice to be able to
some
get rid of it.
browser game ad. Okay, that's fine. Let's see what else do we have here. Scrolly, scrolly, scroll. Building dental assistant. You can start building your future today as a dental assistant at Kaplan College. I,
Yeah.
I don't know how interesting that is to any of our readers, but it's
Hey, we can call India
that's
for
great.
unlimited calling to India from 2 cell phones.
Oh, and well, actually, this one I guess is of interest to me. You can harness the power of protein. Buy a big bag of muscly protein at Vaughn's. Save $2. Oh, awesome! Because I don't buy my protein from Vaughn's, but um, I usually get it from Sprouts, and
Yeah.
protein good. So
Yep.
way soy protein bad. Oh man, I tried. I was out of protein, so I went to go buy protein, and I think I was at Vaughn's. I think I was in back in Kentucky visiting my mom, so there is no Sprouts. So I was at Vaughn's or Walmart, and all they had was soy protein. Uh, and I went, okay, I'll buy the small bottle just to tide me over until I can get the whey protein or egg protein or whatever the hell I need. And oh wow, that is some of the most get. It tastes exactly like what I imagine plaster tastes like.
Oh, that
I've
sounds
never
pretty
had
gross.
plaster, but it's that really chalky. Oh man, that's what I imagine plaster tastes like. So, um, anyway, we had a couple people asking. That's I think about it for our show. We had a few people ask us about RSS feed and iTunes for the show. Yeah, still working on it. We ran into some weird error that we had to get someone on the other side to fix, and I'm not sure if that's been addressed yet. Has to do with I don't know. James told me once is resizing something. I forget what it was, but I know we've been saying we hope to have that up for weeks and weeks and weeks, and we really do. But we're also trying to put content on the site too, and that gets tough. But
Yeah.
I sincerely appreciate you folks sticking with us and being patient while we try to make the site profitable, so that we can, provide you with consistent, good content every weekday. Right now, we're doing the best we can to get at least 2 to 4 stories up every day, and it's tough. But we thank you, viewers and
Yes. Thank
readers
you.
and people who are continuing to participate in the discussions and the poll and the podcast and the chat. You're keeping us going, and we very much appreciate it. We are actually doing better than we were at the very start when we switched over. So still have a ways to go, and we're still working on a lot of stuff. But I do sincerely appreciate everyone sticking with us for so long. So that is it out of us. So let us plug our stuff and get the heck out of here, because I have to shoot day 13 of 13 Days of Horror tonight.
All right.
Yeah. So
But
and
you
actually,
published what, 6 today?
today was
Or
day 6. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm to this is the last night of the series. I have actually have to render out. It's edited, but I have to render out day 7. Day 8 is day 8, and I'm edited all the way to episode 9. And so I still have to shoot episode 13, and then I have to edit 10, 11, 12, and 13. and render all of them out. Um, so yeah, I'm doing a series on my YouTube channel called 13 Days of Horror, where every day I watch a new horror movie and just talk about it. And
Yeah,
really,
I really
honestly,
enjoyed Blood Car or whatever that one was. That was great.
because it was short.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah,
like you talk up this movie. It's like this is what
these are
stuff
my
I liked and
expectations.
expectations. And then it cuts to the thing. And it's like, and then you just kind of, and then that was the end of the video. It was like, oh, okay, I guess it was that bad.
I actually do. I think it was Next Gen Vixen who asked me in the comments. Someone asked me in the comments if I. It's like I really would have liked to have known your thoughts on the movie. I mean, funny gag, but I did for so day two I think was Blood Car, and I actually do start off day three talking about the movie a bit more in depth. But I couldn't resist the movie put me to sleep joke. But anyway, day six is today, so several more days of horror left. I have actually seen movies on the service I liked. Day 12 was not one of them. Although it's interesting because I tend to talk more about the movies I don't like. I think that's mainly because I guess complaining is more fun than praising. But I think a lot of it also has to do with if I don't like the movie, I don't care about spoiling it. So I'll tell you all about the movie and all the ways, all the myriad ways in which it fails. But if I like a movie, I'm excited to talk about it. But I don't want to spoil a lot of things. For example, I think day 11 is Dream House or Dream Home, Dream Home, I think it's called. And I really quite enjoyed that movie, but there are a lot of gags in the movie that it's really best to discover for yourself. So that video might be, I haven't edited it yet, but I imagine it's probably a little bit shorter, although I did ramble in the beginning, like I'm doing now. Uh, so a lot of times when I like a movie, it'll end up being shorter because I don't want to spoil anything. Although I do love geeking out about stuff, and I do that especially with horror. Vixen, that wasn't you. Okay, it was someone with a name I recognize. So, Laxter, yes, I do like to complain. I know I keep that under my hat really really well. Um, but hopefully I do it. I make a nice balance of uh, complaining, but also talking about things I do like. I hope anyway, because I don't like being overwhelmingly negative. I think that's probably the more popular direction to go a lot of the times is making a list of things you don't like. And a lot of times it's just more fun to trash something. It's at least if it's done in good spirits. I don't like being mean about anything, and I think I managed to avoid that well. But anyway, 13 Days of Horror. Check it out. Not one of my more popular series. I have about 7,000 subscribers, and those videos are only watched about one or 200 views. So I guess it's not really that interesting to the majority of my subscribership, but the few people who do watch it really do seem to enjoy it. So really quickly, though, Matthew's asking, what do we think of Vendi's attempting a hostile takeover of Ubisoft? For those of you who don't know, Vivendi just bought more stock in Ubisoft recently, bringing
Yeah.
their total up
Uh,
to a little over 10%.
yeah.
And Ubisoft is getting very defensive. Of course, Ubisoft was very defensive when EA did the same thing 10 years ago and bought, I think, like 20%. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's enough for a hostile takeover, but it is enough to, I think, make them nervous
Yeah,
to
I think
have
it's
companies
enough
have
to
that
get
large
in
of a
on the
controlling
shareholder
interest.
meetings and possibly even have a vote when it comes to you know board yeah the board of directors and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Because Vivendi, I don't know. I'm surprised they didn't sour after the whole Activision stuff. Because
Yeah.
they had Activision for a while, and then I'm just surprised that they didn't sour after that on video games. But I don't know.
Hmm.
It'd be interesting to see if they continue to buy stock. Um, because I just don't know what Vivendi would do differently than what Ubisoft is already doing. Because
Maybe it just wants some of that sweet Assassin's Creed action.
Maybe, I don't know. That could be it. But yeah, I just don't see Vivendi being a company that would reverse any of their Ubisoft's DRM stances or anything like that. So, yeah.
Huh. The comment I initially attributed as possibly being next-gen Vixens was Chuckman102, who I don't know at all. So maybe I'm thinking of a different comment altogether. I don't. I'm running on like 4.5 hours of sleep. In addition to my Wii dying, I had a bad day. I was on call, so I didn't even get to sleep till a little past 6 in the morning. The sprinkler broke on my porch and flooded my porch, and got into the house a little bit, and I split the crotch of my pants in the gym while stretching. I had my leg way up on a platform doing a hamstring stretch, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror and looking at what color underwear I'm wearing. I'm like, oh heavens, I've been here for an hour. I wonder if I flashed anybody. Goodness me. So yeah. Anyway, all right, plugging stuff. Andrew Eisen, Eisen. Plug it into YouTube to find 13 Days of Horror and all the other silly things I do. At Andrew Eisen is the Twitter account, and my Facebook page is Andrew Eisen YouTube. So there you go. Also, I'm doing the Extra Life charity marathon 24-hour event thing to raise money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. I'm playing for Rady Children's Hospital here in San Diego. If you'd like to make a pledge, you can do so at the Extra Life website, extra-life.org. Just search my name and you'll find my page. Donations are tax deductible. All money goes to helping hospitalized kids. I'll be playing a game on Twitch next Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Following weekend is the 24-hour marathon. That starts at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time on my Twitch channel. So, Laxter says, your underwear is black too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. I will admit, however, that my underwear is black and gray, because you can't, for some reason, you can't just buy a pack of black underwear. You can buy them individually like that, but for some reason, Target and Kmart and all the clothing stores, they think men want variety. We do not want variety. We want convenience. So you can either buy colors or patterns in different packs, but I've never seen or rarely have I ever seen a pack of just all black underwear. So mine are black and dark gray. And I think when I split my pants, I was wearing dark gray at the time, which is why I noticed the split in the crotch of my pants. So hopefully no one else did. Well, they probably didn't. Otherwise, they would have ran out screaming, "Ah, I've seen more of the Andrew than I ever wanted. Get me out of here." All right, Zachary, plug away.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Easy Night, and you can also check out my game development work, DK_gaming on Twitter and DivineKnightGaming.com. And if you're interested in the Oklahoma game development scene, check out OK Game Devs on Twitter and OKGameDev.com. And finally, if you're interested in some not so serious take on industry trends, check out RustyOutlook.com and Rusty Outlook on Twitter. So there you go.
And do check out Rusty Outlook because it's funny.
Yeah, sometimes I think I make things a little too serious, and there's not enough hints in there that the thing's a joke. But
The Onion suffers from the same problem.
Yeah,
I saw something on Twitter about I don't know if it was MSNBC or Fox News, but it was a screenshot of some news program, and they said you would think this would be an Onion article, but no, this is real.
yeah.
It was some political poll about Americans' response to something, and you're like, oh God, really?
Yeah.
Tell me that's a joke, please. But,
yeah, and there are times when I'm actually reading a video game news site, and there's an article up, and I'm like, if this wasn't real, this would be perfect for my site, for Rusty Outlook. But unfortunately, this is real. So, yeah. lots of fun stuff out there.
Next, I mean, what are you gonna do? Konami deny. Oh, they did deny. Okay. I was gonna write Konami denies Kojima actually leaves. Says he's on vacation, and we don't know what that party at our own building was. Oh, that really happened. Okay, so
Yeah,
Konami denies that it denied anything. No, we never said that. Oh, what?
yeah,
Vixen says it's funny. Some people still think The Onion is real news. Yeah, some people still think World Weekly and The Inquirer are real news too.
yeah.
Bat Boy is real. So,
Yeah.
okay, thank you all for watching. We're out of here. You've been watching Super Podcast Action Committee episode 164, weekly podcast from GamePolitics.com that airs or streams live every Saturday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week. In the meantime, send us email at superpackpodcast, superpackpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at superpackpodcast. And like us on Facebook. Please, please do. All right. Take care. All have a lovely week. We'll see you next time. Bye.
All right. See ya.